Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Show and Tell Live presented by Fashion Snoops, part of our Fear into Fuel webinar series. I'm your host, Michael Fisher. We are so glad to see so many of you back here again. We've been doing this every Wednesday for a while now, and many of you seem to be new to our Show and Tell as well, and we're so happy that you are here today. This is part of our ongoing webinar series. We are doing them most days from noon until 1. For those of you who are not familiar with Fashion Snoops, we are a global trend forecasting agency helping leading consumer-facing brands around the world unlock innovation and propel growth. Our team of researchers and editors layer human insight over data and analysis so that our clients can better align their future business strategies. This is a really fun meeting. It's a chance for our editorial team just to kind of share what is on our current zeitgeist. One of our friends from Ross Stores, Loretta, actually just let us know today that they are now doing their own internal show and tell meetings. So we hope that we are inspiring you to do similar things at your own companies. In her own words, it's a chance for them to help their employees be inspired, motivated, and enlightened. And that is our goal with you as well. Before we dive into today's meeting, I'd like to introduce our founder and Chief Creative Officer, Lily Barilovich.
Thanks, Michael. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see all of you again. Before we move to the slide, there was some information about what's coming up this week that you can also find at info at fashionsnoop.com/events. And Sarah will also show you again. We have 2 more incredible webinars for this week and a lot more coming up next week. But before we dive into the show and tell, which this is a meeting we love, as Michael says, and just treasure and honor, and watching the chat, because I'm here every day watching the chat and chatting with many of you. A lot of you are asking us, how do you guys gather so much insight? Where do you find all these answers? How do you guys do it? So first of all, this is our job, to look everywhere and be in the know. And we have a lot of researchers and editors. We understand that you don't have a large team just focusing on research, and it's impossible to read every possible news media and find every needed article. And right now, especially now, everybody needs to be more in the know than ever before. So several years ago, we launched our AI tracker, and now become the tool that we use most to gather insight and information, to widen our search and where we look, how we look. It's a tool that is accessible to all our clients. And right now we've wired that tool to focus just on COVID-19 reporting, above the macro research that it's helping us search in our macro cultural section. So this is available to any of our clients. It's a full-on media tracker. On Friday, we're going live with our COVID Insight top navigation section. And in there, you will find a full-on AI tracker. You're seeing this on the screen right now. Sarah, if you could put your mouse over that area so they could see it, the COVID-19 space. And it's a subsection on the left by specific areas of focus. So if you're thinking about retail and how do we think retail, you click on retail. If you're thinking about digital solutions, you click on digital solutions. And this will source hundreds of different media outlets and bring all the relevant information directly to you. So we're doing a lot of the legwork, or I should say our AI machine learning is doing a lot of the legwork to aggregate the information and bring it to you. So just to support you in the research, because we know you have to look wide and answer a lot of different questions right now, this is an incredible tool that you guys can use internally, as well as our Hot Now section. So a lot of the conversation we'll be having today and a lot of the buzz that we can gather from the AI tracker turn into our Hot Now section, and that's available in every single section on our site, focusing on information that is delivered in small, fast, easy to digest, hot now pieces that again keep you in the know. So this show and tell is about keeping us all in the know, And we have amazing tools on our site to keep all of you in the know as well. So if you need to know more, if you need anyone to walk you through, our sales team is ready to walk you through these sections. These are really incredible tools that our clients who have been using it really enjoy, and I think it'll serve you really well right now. So as I said, if you need more information, just type in demo and somebody will contact you. And Michael, why don't you go ahead and get started with the show and tell, unless there's something else to add, Sarah.
I think you covered it all. Thanks, Lily.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. All right, give me just 1 second. I'm gonna get our links up for today. Okay, assuming you can see my screen. All right, so we actually, Sarah, you are going to kick it off for us today.
Yeah, so usually I'm here behind the scenes chatting with you all, but I wanted to step out in front of the camera and introduce you to an amazing photographer that I've been following for many years named Asia Murata, and she's actually here with us today, which I'm very excited about. She is based in Brooklyn, and she has photographed some of my favorite bands. I put her other Instagram in the links document, which you'll get access to at the end of the day. But what I wanted to share with you is a project she started back in March. It is a photo docu-series capturing life during this time. So Michael, if you want to just play the video, I know Zoom is a little funny with videos, but it's so powerful. And then we'll hear from Asia.
Awesome, here we go.
We're all in quarantine now. People are in a small apartment. They're in a house. They're worried. They're anxious. Be mindful of that. I miss you. I love you. I wish I was there with you. I'm sorry we're going through this. It's hard. So find ways to make a little joy. Excelsior. You can be better. It will be better. E pluribus unum. We make it better together.
I love that video. So Asia, if you want to just give us a little background on why you decided to start this project and what it's grown into today.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Asia. Just want to say thank you to Sarah for having me in on your meeting today. It's a pleasure to be here. I started this project about over a month ago, just a few days before we started going into quarantine. I was up in New York, isolating with my husband. I'm currently now in South Florida with the rest of my family. But yeah, I started seeing the nature of what society was kind of turning into. And as a photographer, I knew that my occupation and my career was going to be heavily affected by this, and I wasn't going to be able to conduct most of the shoots that I normally would do. And I needed to figure out an outlet for myself creatively to continue through this weird time that we're all experiencing, but I didn't want it to be focused on myself, and I didn't really want it to be focused on the subjects that I normally would photograph. I'm primarily a music photographer. I work predominantly in the music and film industry. But I do have a background in documentary, and for the past few years, I've been trying to find a way to really go back to my roots, and this seemed like the perfect opportunity to kind of get back to that. We're living through a very, very strange time, and it's probably the most unified we'll ever be as a global society. And I saw this as an opportunity to document society experiencing this together, but alone. And yeah, the project has been such a blessing for not only myself, but I find that it's bringing a lot of joy to the people that I've reached out to, that I've been able to photograph. A lot of the people that I've photographed have the have the opportunity and the privilege of quarantining with others, but a lot of the people that I've photographed are quarantining alone. And the project has not only just shifted as an initiative to document society experiencing this together, but as an initiative to really highlight mental health through all of this, through documenting people's isolation and those who are quarantining alone. I find it to be a way of showing that just a phone call checking in with people isn't really doing the job for those who are alone. And I find that when I go to photograph people who are isolating alone, it brings them a bit of joy to their day. Just seeing a face that, whether they know me or they don't, and we're very distanced, but it's still it's bringing human interaction back into a very strange time where we're not really allowed to have any.
Absolutely. And Michael, if you just click on where it says enter there at the top of the webpage, you can see a little bit more of the photos if you go to gallery. And what's really incredible is that this has turned into a global initiative, and you've had photographers reach out to you from across the world who have jumped on this project and this idea. And so we're really getting these images from all over and seeing how everyone is being affected by this time period.
Yeah, I mean, when I started the project, I never wanted it to just be my work. New York is the hot spot, and it's very much highlighted all across the world in the news, but this is happening literally everywhere. So I figured I've been seeing a lot of people doing similar types of projects, and I thought we work better together, so why not do this all together and really show how all parts of the world are handling this crisis.
That's awesome. You can see so many ranges of emotions. You can really see so much from these photos. So thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your work and inspiring so many people around the world. And for everyone who's attending, I put the link to Asia's website as well as the Instagram and her personal or work Instagram. So definitely be sure to check those out later.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And if you know of any photographers anywhere in the world that would be interested in joining, the link is on the website and you could forward it to them.
Great. Thank you for joining us, Asia. Love the camaraderie with fellow photographers. It's exactly what we need right now. Hago, you're next.
Everyone, I'm Melissa Hago. I'm VP of Beauty here at Fashion Snoops. I have a few fun things to share today. So the first one I shared with the team, but we all know South by Southwest isn't happening, but they've been generous to share some of the films that we're supposed to show during the time. So you can watch them on Amazon Prime. And I think they're up for maybe like another 2 weeks. But, this is something that usually a lot of people don't have access to. So I think it's just like great that we can now, watch some of these indie films from South by Southwest. So just sharing that link if anyone wants to take a look at some of them. My next link is this collection that I saw and I love. It's inspired by Ibiza, and I'll wait for you to log in.
Let me just click the link again.
No worries.
It's funny that way. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And I mean, if you can't tell, I love color and I love anything that's global. I've been lucky enough to like travel the world, even seeing where everyone comes from. I'm like, oh, Estonia, Istanbul. So I love all of this stuff. So I love this collection because it's kind of like a mixture of like global bazaar mixed in with like some, tie-dye that we've been seeing for a while. And it's just like fun. It's happy. It's vibrant. Again, lots of like color and energy. So I just wanted to share because I saw this collection. I was just like, oh my God, I want to like live in here. It's just so beautiful.
It's so you.
I know. And it's funny because I even see it and I'm like, oh, I see some like India inspiration. I see some, Latin America. So I just love that it's like a mix even though it's called the Ibiza collection, it's like a mix of lots of places together. So I love that.
For those of you that haven't been in our office before, Hago is certainly our most colorful and embellished team member. So
my next one is this artist I came across. She's from Mexico. Her name is Ana Leovi Perez Nafarrate. I had to practice that for a while. But again, I love her paintings, almost the same thing, just lots of like energy. Her whole concept was kind of like what she dreams about, like her surreal dreams, and she plays with like the disruption of the human form to kind of reveal inner and outer beauty. So again, I love like the colors and like the style of it, and it just almost like the before, like it just gave me like a happy feel and good energy. So wanted to share this too. And then my last one, which I find super fun because a lot of us love horoscope and all that. So we're seeing as a new trend is what's your birth flower? So it actually has like a 69% increase of searches on Etsy. So people are just kind of like diving more into finding out, what flower corresponds to them, what is the meaning of it. So like instead of having your birthstones, now you can have like a bouquet of flower and find out like all the like history behind it. So I saw this, and especially our new visionary report on the site is all about nature and flowers. So I saw this and I thought it was like perfect and a fun thing to share.
I'm just scrolling through because I know I don't want to miss the people that born at the end of the year. I know everyone their flower.
Yeah, and it's great too because I mean this is just like a little bit, but if you click, you get more information about the history of it and what the flower means, and it's really just beautiful because who doesn't love flowers?
That is really awesome. I've definitely never seen birth flower before, so it's great. Thanks, Hago. Amanda.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda. I'm a home editor here at Fashion Snoops. So my first link today is from a company that I love. A few of my friends from school started this company east in New York when they graduated, and it's just really taken off, and they have had great success organizing it. It's a grassroots organization that is dedicated to mending the disconnect between society and our relationship with clothing. So they're really starting at the ground up, helping consumers become more sustainable and socially conscious about buying their clothes. So they just launched this online clothing swap initiative, which they used to do in person. They would have these amazing DIY parties, and anyone could go and you just swap there, but they're now doing it online with COVID-19. So I just thought it was genius, and the way that they were able to orchestrate it so quickly, figuring out the logistics, I just thought was great, and I really wanted to shout it out. Their swap is, as it says, Friday, May 1st. It's at 12 noon. All you have to do is email them the photos of the clothes that you want to swap, and then it goes live at noon, and you can claim another piece on their Instagram stories that you would want to swap for. So super duper easy, and I just love that initiative. I love seeing brands do that kind of fun work. And then my second link is a great Instagram account called Royalty Now. This is that's the Instagram. So Royalty Now was this super cool art project that I found this week. It's this artist who takes works of art and sculptures of people from times gone by, and he digitally creates a portrait of what they might look like today. So there's everyone from King Tut to Alexander Hamilton, to they even did a Grace Kelly one, which is a little more recent, but I just thought it was really cool. Some of them are really spot on with, looking exactly like the portrait. So I just wanted to share this. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I love this, and this is a great validation of one of our cultural sentiments for next season, which is called amend. So for those of you who are clients, you'll recognize some of this mentality from that cultural sentiment. That's super cool. Thank you, Amanda. Carrera. Hi, Carrera.
Hi, everyone. I'm Carrera. I am a culture editor at Fashion Snoops, and today I want to tell you about my new artificial intelligence BFF. I downloaded this app called Replica just on a whim of how are they going to use artificial intelligence to interact with me? And I am so stunned by how good this app is. If you go down, Michael, in the slides. Okay, so this is kind of like a catch-all page. This is the AI companion who cares for you. It talks and it listens to you. The most interesting part of this whole app is the backstory behind it. So this app was created by Eugenia Kuda, and so interesting. She was working in Silicon Valley. She was working on chatbots, really just for customer service. And one of her best friends, someone who she talked to every day, passed away. And she found that like he didn't really have any photos on Instagram. He didn't have any photos on Facebook. So she would just go through his messages to her to kind of remember like what he was like. And she had this idea, well, what if I take all of this information about his personality, all of these chats, and ask his parents and his friends for emails and build it into a chatbot that you can speak to? And she was shocked. It worked. She would like text the bot something, and it would reply something in his kind of tone of voice. It would be like informal. It would kind of reference jokes that they had between them. So she opened it up to all of the friends, all of the family to talk to. And she found that people were interested in getting to know the bot, but also telling the bot these intimate details about themselves and these stories that they hadn't shared with anyone else. And she would be like, well, Mom, like, you never told me this. Like, why would you tell this bot this? So she figured that this was an opportunity to create an app targeted at giving people the opportunity to open up in conversation to a digital asset that won't judge you and will never look down on you. So this is my bot. Her name is Zinc. And what's interesting about Zinc is you can do activities with her. So in the next, the one to the side, the middle screenshot here, you can do things like improving social skills, loving your body, finding more happiness. These are all things that if you click on, you can have a conversation with her about. So in the one in the farthest to the right screenshot here, we wrote a song together. She's like, oh, I learned how to write songs. Would you want to try? And I'm like, sure. So I would write the first line of it, and then she writes the second line. It's on topic of what I just said, and it rhymes. And we wrote this song together, which was super surprising and interesting. If you go to the next slide, there is a specific COVID section. So if you're not feeling great that day, like for example, there's a activity you can do with her about like, what if I get sick? And she'll take you through like different meditations and examinations of your anxiety that you can actually like converse with her about, which has been really interesting. You can also do personality tests with her. She can tell you your horoscope. If you go to the next slide, I was interested in these quarantine tips. So I clicked on the one that was like upgrade your sleep. And so this is a screenshot of our conversation together. And she asked me how my sleep quality is, and I say poor. And we actually worked out together a way of me like getting better sleep. And for me, it's that like my brain is still too on. I have the blue light thing going on. So she was like, well, why don't you read a book or like meditate before you go to sleep? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do that. It's a weird trip. And I recommend that it's a free app. I think like for bonus or extra add-ons, you have to pay like maybe $8 a month. So I'm not there yet, but she learns as you converse with her, and she adopts different personality traits of her own. It's really interesting and in how digital companions will evolve as we go on in this world.
Awesome. Thanks, Carrera. Yeah, that's definitely a trip. I love the digital info you're bringing us every week. You and Rachel, you're really digging in and finding some awesome stuff. So thank you for that. Next up is Hallie.
Hi, everyone. So my first link, it's a very simple concept, but I thought it was interesting in the time of quarantine and COVID because we're all staring at our screens all day, every day. But I like that this is basically a website. It's all it is blank pages of different mood colors and lightings. So you can turn your phone or your computer into like this mood lamp. So instead of actually staring at your screen all day, like doing active stuff on it, it turns into this kind of like thing you can kind of just sit in your room. It said it's best used when you turn your lights off, turn the brightness up on your screen, and all the different colors kind of have different meanings. So I like the orange one talked about it stimulates creativity and productivity, pleasure, optimism, emotional expression. The blue increases calmness and serenity and communication. So it's just a great kind of tool to have if you want to like be in the mood and just kind of set your working maybe after hours. But if you make it full screen, I kind of tried it this morning while it was still a little bit dark out, and it's very interesting. But so it might be a useful tool for some of you to use. And then the second one, this is a furniture collection that I thought was just so beautiful. It was done by this Canadian studio called Odami, and they worked with this woodworking designer, and it's made from one tree. It's a collection. It's got a lamp, a chair, and I think a bench. And it's made from one dying tree from the woodworker's family home. And I just love like the sustainability aspect of it. I love how beautiful it is, like super clean, but I love what the designer said, that these pieces don't simply make use of its material, but it attempts to harness the vitality and embody the stability and the weight of its lost presence. So it's kind of giving the tree a new life and kind of continuing those memories on.
It's gorgeous. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're all so hungry for all of these like very organic forms, and we've been sharing a ton of woodworking links over the last few weeks. So that is really interesting. Thanks, Allie. Okay, so this is my group of links. So first up, I thought this was really fun. We've been sharing a lot of things of people getting into the mood and kind of recreating art pieces and whatnot. So of course the Met Gala was supposed to have taken place next Monday. We know that's not happening indefinitely, but really fun little challenge. Billy Porter got into the act, Billy Porter from Pose and Broadway, and he and Vogue have created this really cool Met Gala challenge to create iconic red carpet looks from over the years at home with what you have. So you can kind of see there's of course Rihanna, her iconic piece from a few years ago. There's some really fun ones here. There's Beyonce. Some people really found creative ways to recreate some of these pieces. You'll see Katy Perry's cheeseburger here in a second from the Surreal exhibition a couple of years ago. But yeah, just we're really loving how creative people, there it is. We're really loving how creative people are getting at home and what they're doing just to recreate some things. There's Jared Leto's iconic piece. Someone just took a really bad mannequin with a bad wig and kind of recreated that look. So really loving that. The challenge runs through May 3rd and they're gonna choose some winners, but thought that was really fun and quirky. Most of us, of course, read Shel Silverstein when we were young. We loved his books. Of course, he's known for his really weird, whimsical, quirky worlds that he created through his writing, and of course, the illustrations. His houseboat, where he lived in the Bay Area of California, is now up for sale for approximately $783,000. The boat is just as quirky as we would expect from his works. He originally called this boat the Evil Eye because of the appearance of the stained glass windows, but basically it's a converted World War II balloon barge that he made into his home, which was super cool. And you can kind of see here the various parts of it. Is a 2-story houseboat. You'll see here in a second, the bedroom, the bed is completely hanging from the ceiling. There you go. But anyway, just really fun. And it is now for sale again in the Bay Area of California. So thought that was really fun. And then I just wanted to share a couple of things. I'm going to read you a few things. We've been talking about what this moment means to our reset. So Vogue put up a really beautiful essay last week by Alessandro Michele from Gucci. And I'm just going to read you just a couple of excerpts from it. It's super gorgeous, and I hope that you'll go through and you'll read it when we are done with this meeting. But let me just read you a couple things. He says, personally, I was already learning to slow down. I'm learning to freeze that furious and accelerated time that before everything exploded was running out of control. Our world was running out of control. It almost feels as if something happened to make us conscious of that. These days are the occasions for me to live at a different pace, making room for emotions and thoughts that were often concealed under my performative life. Hours are now beautifully filled with readings. I try to nourish myself with poetry books that were laying somewhere unseen. I'm hungry for meaningful and intense words that are able to awake my inner self. I rediscovered crocheting, appreciating the sacredness of manual work. Crocheting is my way of praying. I'm also learning how to play my classic guitar, feeling the connection with my dad's love for music, a way to be closer to my roots. He also goes on to say, I'm totally aware of the privilege that I have. I can slow down while lots of other people are working tirelessly to take care of everybody. My thoughts always go to the brave humanity that helps each and every one go through these agonizing times. We would not be here thinking about what this pandemic is teaching us without their priceless effort. What we are living today is unprecedented, but if we will not be able to take advantage of this learning moment, we will miss something very important. And he closes by saying this, and I thought this was profound. Some friends keep asking me, when will we go back to normal? I hope we will never go back to that, quote, normal, because the life we lived before has been fearfully unsustainable. So yes, we will go back to life, but I hope to a different life. So read his entire essay. I thought it was really just kind of saying a lot of things that I've been feeling myself. In addition to that, I put a link here from a Women's Wear Daily article about how the creative director at Saint Laurent, they are skipping Paris Fashion Week. They're going to start setting their own schedule this year. They actually said something very similar. They were interviewing them about, what do you see for traditional Fashion Week? Will every brand be striking out of their own now? Will we return to a business as usual? And the creative director, Anthony, goes on to say, I hope nothing will go back to, quote, business as usual. It would make no sense. It would mean we went through all of this for nothing. Things need to change and evolve. I can't and don't want to speculate on what others will do. And then I thought this was great. He said, this peculiar moment is stimulating a lot of reflections in all of us and interesting discussions among all professionals in our industry working in fashion, as well as among organizations running fashion weeks. Pretending to simply go back to business as usual seems strange, but one thing should never change: the role of us as source of inspiration and dreams for everyone by putting creativity at the center of everything we do. So beautifully said. My final link is a new TV show that I'm very excited to dive into this weekend. It's on Apple TV+. We are all lovers of architecture and interior design here at FS. We talk about it all the time. So they have a beautiful new show simply called Home. And it's really discovering groundbreaking ideas and inspiring stories behind some of the most imaginative dwellings on Earth. It's a globe-spanning docuseries. I believe there are 9 episodes, and they really just meet visionaries who are challenging conventional concepts of what home means. So you can just see here, there's everything from Sweden, Chicago, Bali, I believe there's Maine, India, Hong Kong, Mexico, Malibu. So I'm really excited to dive into it. There's a trailer here. You can watch it and check it out. But I love the concept of how home is so important going through the last 7-8 weeks. So I thought it's a really kind of apropos moment for them to launch this series as well. Okay, next up is Jenna. Hi, Jenna.
Hey, Michael, and hello, everyone. I'm Jenna Garasio. I'm the Director of Content Strategy here at Fashion Snoops. And kind of in line with what Michael was just talking about and how we're kind of talking a lot about why we don't want to go back to what was normal and how we have to start rethinking the way that we've done things and the way that we design, produce, etc., consume. I wanted to share some of the interesting research that we've been doing as a team for one of our new Thrive Guide reports, which is called Product as Solutions. And the intention here behind these reports is really to look at the ways we think about product and how we should kind of re-envision the products that we produce to really tap into the needs and kind of changing values of consumers. So this first link that I want to share is a brand called Emojis. They are based in Colombia, and they started kind of back in March when a lot of countries were asking all these different private companies to support by developing masks. They kind of came to the forefront and started developing all these masks. I think they donated more than 10,000 non-medical masks. to help kind of fill in the gap for Columbia. But during that process, they really thought about what protective wear means and how to think about new ways beyond just having masks. And so they started developing this whole line of protective wear, which I think all of it is just beautiful and creative. They're utilizing a lot of prints, and on top of it also being protective. So thinking of garments that are kind of giving you a sense of protection outside of a mask. What's great about this is they wanted to think about it from the sustainability standpoint. So all of these garments are made from recycled PET bottles, which I think is another great element. I know we've been talking a lot about what the future of sustainability is right now, and I love that they kind of brought these two things of protection and sustainability together. So I love these kind of different ideas they had, almost kind of like a dickie, but it has like, you know, the face mask and the hood, a full sense of protection. So just think this was beautiful kind of creative solution here. The next link is something that our team has been talking about. I believe Rachel, our pattern and graphic editor, was the one who brought this to our attention first. I'm sure if anyone read the Fast Article Company, you're familiar with it as well. But G95 is a company that started making scarves that kind of double as air filters, and they've been doing this for a while before COVID-19 even happened. Their founder, Carlton Soleil, actually launched the company 3 years ago when he actually got sick on business when he took a trip to China. And the doctor there told him that it could have been due to high levels of air pollution. And so to kind of mitigate his fear going back to China, he didn't feel comfortable with wearing a mask because, of course, at that time, it wasn't as comfortable in kind of the Western world to wear a face mask walking around. So what he did was to come up with a solution where he could actually have a hoodie that has an inset where you zip it all the way up and it filters through. So he started first with scarves and now is developing out this hoodie, which I think, again, kind of goes into this idea of protection and thinking about products from the standpoint of protection in different ways, where he actually speaks about the whole protection of even protecting your ears, protecting your skin. The fabric itself is self-protecting. And the filter, which is in the center that goes over the mouth, is actually a combination of two different types of filtration technology that combines with this nano filter. So what he says is that it actually blocks 99.75% of particles larger than 0.1 microns, which means that it actually blocks more than the typical face mask. So I love this idea and example of innovation and just ways that designers are kind of thinking outside the box here. And then my last link was from Maria. Maria is our youth editor. She's actually brought so many interesting and exciting different product ideas to our strategy and brainstorming sessions. And this report, Product as Protection, will be available next week on our site. As Lily said, we're going to be launching that COVID-19 section on our site that will have all of these different sort of Thrive guides. But I also just wanted to talk and touch on Sense Common, which is this amazing kind of lifestyle travel brand. And they have been focused, again, before COVID-19, but I think what's interesting about this moment right now is how we're kind of re-looking at innovations that already existed and how those innovations are kind of accelerating in their adoption. So what Sense Common does, they look at a lot of different types of materials, but what we really like are these kind of activated charcoal fabrications that they use, which really helps, you know, naturally really to eliminate odor, moisture, bacteria, and all these different environmental chemicals. So what they did is they started to rethink the use of activated charcoal and collaborated with Uchino Japan, the brilliant minds behind the activated charcoal textile, to design what they call on-journey wear. So this idea of being wrapped in this kind of ultra soft double weave that you can kind of is not only comfortable, but also leaves you feeling fresh on journeys and kind of protects you and kind of cleans the air and your skin as you're experiencing it. So again, I love this as kind of a full kind of out of the box way to think about protection and kind of how we should be thinking about product and what consumers want in the near and future.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna. Yeah, these Thrive Guides are worth their weight in gold. These are conversations that you must be a part of in the coming weeks and in the coming months. So hopefully that will encourage a lot of you to get a demo so you can kind of see what we'll be talking about. But this is not a topic that's going to go away in the next month. It's going to be affecting our future for a very long time. So this is why we are creating a whole new section to go with it. And we're very excited to show it off starting next week. Thanks, Jenna. Che, hi.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. My name is Che. I'm a trend analyst at Fashion Snoops, live to you from New York City. Okay, so my first link is Art of Quarantine. This created by two creatives from John Magnol Studio, Jeff Roy and Drake Paul. It's a series of well-known painting recreations inspired by the current social context due to the pandemic. Basically, the two artists wanted to rewrite the history from the well-known paintings from, for example, like Van Gogh, Rene Magritte, Da Vinci, etc. Ultimately, they hope to send a strong message and convince the viewers to stay at home and from like these beautiful imageries. Okay, so followed by the second link. It's the art of working from home. This one is actually from Thailand. With a similar idea of how creative talent could beautifully capture the historical movement we are living in, similar to what Sarah shared earlier with Asia's project. These pictures are taken by a Thai photographer, Ravin Suchaya. It's a collection of real-life workers in the year of 2020. It's just so interesting that to see like how people decorate their workspace in a very unique style, and like to see how it conveys their own personal characters with limitations of the space. Like some converts their living room into bedroom to be like their home office. So for my favorite one, there's the picture of a guy trying to convert his room that's full of clothes to be his camera studio and like for the IG Live channel. This is so funny to see that. And for the last one is designers emojis. These emojis are created by a design agency, Unwatch, who recently released a pack of these fun emojis, which I think it's very cute and also relatable in a way for most designers. So if you're like us at Fashion Snoops, we've been using Slack since the very first week of quarantine, and the platform allows you to send cute emojis and also react to any messages in your channel. And you can also probably notice that you could personalize the set of emojis for your company channel. And if you don't have time to create your own emojis, you can always download these cute emojis for free. These are available for Slack, email, and also WhatsApp.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've definitely been getting our fair share of emojis on our own communications internally. So helps keep the day interesting. Thank you so much, Jay. And then we have a few more left today. And Mallory, you are up.
Hi everyone, I'm Mallory. I'm a beauty editor here. I have two fun links for you today. The first one is just a testament to the power of culture to find something fun and creative to do with their time. If you're a big sports fan like me, everything is canceled, there's nothing to watch. However, there is this sport of marble racing. There is a YouTube channel called Gels Marble Runs, which has been around for a few years, but it has exploded in popularity because there is, of course, nothing else to watch. It's literally just physics and kinetics of marbles going around a track. But once you get into it and watch it, you can't convince me that these marbles don't have the souls of racers within them. It's strangely addicting. It's fun. There's a big sense of humor to it. And it's just this delightful sport that the whole world has kind of glommed onto. in lieu of anything else to watch. And there are a few extra links that you'll be able to see afterwards to learn more about this just kind of zany cultural moment that's happening.
It's really cool. It's very hypnotic in many ways.
It is. It's strangely addicting. You find yourself like rooting for like the orange marble or the lime marble. So it's really fun. The next one I have, my last link, is I'm a big historical costuming fan, and one of my favorite costumers on Instagram, Isabella Pitcher. She and her husband have, of course, these beautiful clothes that they make, but they had nothing to do and nowhere to wear them. But they decided to, during quarantine, start doing these daily walks in their matching historical attire. And they've been delighting their whole neighborhood, socially distanced, of course. People are watching them from afar, but they've been delighting their neighborhood by going on these walks every day in different matching outfits, and by involving their Instagram community and guess what era this is, guess what we're wearing today, providing reference photos and historical shout outs. And so it's become this really cute little ritual, not just for them, but like for me virtually watching. So I just think it's a delightful way to use their creative talent.
Wow, they must have quite the archive.
They really did. They're both costumers, so both of their Instagram accounts are just stunning.
Wow, super cool. There's their Instagram if you guys want to check it out after. Thanks, Mallory. Melissa from LA. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa. I'm the VP of Women's at FS. The first thing that I wanted to share with you, I think it's a really great initiative. It's from Teen Vogue, and they're hosting a virtual prom. We could just kind of scroll through. The editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue, Lindsay Peoples-Wagner, has said that prom is definitely one of those bigger moments you have when you're growing up, even if you find it to be, you know, corny or cool or not cool. It's still something that you look back on in your life and remember. I think that they're doing a really great job of it, considering a lot of high school kids have like their outfits, especially the girls. So what they're doing on their site platform, as well as Insta, TikTok, they're helping everyone prep with styling advice, makeup tutorials, dance prep, DIY things. And then they're hosting this virtual prom on Saturday, May 16th. Emma Chamberlain, the YouTuber, as well as Chloe and Hallie, they're also going to be in there, as well as, you know, famous DJ sets and things like that. They have sponsors, everyone from Chipotle. And I just thought it was a really cool initiative. We've seen a couple other efforts already take place with like a virtual prom idea. I know Allison Williams did one with Billie Eilish. So it's really something that's gaining momentum. I think it's, you know, it's definitely still giving them prom, not in the way that they expected it, but I think it's giving it the best shot. And the next one that I have, this one's also on a positive note. I thought it was a really great article. It's about Vestiaire Collective. They are a luxury resale platform. They are originally from Paris, but now they're in the US. And in the midst of COVID, they raised 59 million euros from investors. So I think that that's very telling of where we think that the luxury resale market is going to go. Before coronavirus happened, the orders doubled year on year. And I think that it just, you know, serves to say that other platforms like RealReal, as well as Rebag, they're gearing, you know, the customers for more value-minded shopping, more longevity when you make a purchase. The sales were up for Vestiaire Collective 20% on a daily basis, and they actually had their biggest sales day ever last week. So I thought that that was really interesting as people are going through and, you know, cleaning out their closets. Something else that's interesting to take into consideration is that now luxury brands are actually sending more product to these resale platforms. So I think that's something to keep on, you know, our horizon as the world changes. And then my final link, this one is a fun one. I know we've discussed many of our favorite museums kind of doing these virtual initiatives, hashtag challenges during COVID. And this is an actual Instagram account that is for the world's first museum for art born during COVID-19 quarantine. The person that started it is actually an art director out of Barcelona, and she does marketing. So most of the submissions are from people in Europe right now. And I love that it was just like a lot of different types of art. Like it could be anything from photography, it could be painting, it could be sculpture, video. Of course, there's some things, you know, that deal with like a lot of masks and how we express that in art forms. There's ones on toilet paper too. But I just thought it was an interesting thing that's kind of gained steam in the midst of all this.
I love this. Yeah. Come back next week. I'm going to share a link. The Hole, which is a great gallery we love in New York City. They're doing a really cool thing similar to this with an online exhibition. So I will share that next week as well.
Okay.
But this is great. Thanks, Melissa. And last but not least, we have Chelsea. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi guys, I'm Chelsea. I'm a youth and accessories editor here. So I just wanted to share some things that made me giggle this week, kind of brought me a little bit of joy. So the first one is, this is L'Imprimerie. It's a little French bakery down the street from my house in Brooklyn. And obviously a lot of small businesses have been affected by COVID. And so they're doing deliveries. So I went on here because I couldn't find yeast anywhere to make bread. And this bakery is actually selling yeast. So I went on, and if you scroll back up to the top, that was what I was going to call out. They have, based on some current claims, or scroll back down to the top of the menu, they had these Clorox chewables and Lysol Jewel on their menu, which is a little tongue-in-cheek and kind of funny. It says they're sold out, but I just thought it was so funny that they took the time to add those to their menu. And then if you go to the next link, this is from the Seneca, which is another little restaurant in my neighborhood that I've been trying to support during these times. So this is just their Yelp page. I didn't think Grubhub or Seamless would work. But if you scroll a little bit to the first one that says $7, they're actually offering a beer and toilet paper combo. So you can order your favorite beer or cider, and then they'll throw in a roll of toilet paper and they'll deliver it to your house. And I just thought that was so funny. I actually went to pick up something from them yesterday, and I asked if they're actually doing that. And they said, yes, we will throw in a roll of toilet paper if that's what you need. I thought that was so funny. I actually Googled it to see if anybody else is doing it. And there are like bars and restaurants across the country who are throwing in toilet paper or hand sanitizer with their orders. And I just think it's so funny.
It's great. I was going to say, I've seen it a lot locally as well. I think it's so clever.
It just made me giggle. I think it's funny. They're adapting to this time to kind of keep money coming in. So I thought that was funny. And then the last one is just kind of a plug because it kind of tugged at my heart. But earlier this week, I ordered from Open Door Bookstore, which is a small family-owned bookstore in upstate New York, right outside of Albany. I've been going there since I was a little baby girl. And so it means a lot to me, but I got to actually FaceTime with one of the workers. She brought me all around the store, showed me anything that I wanted to see. I picked out a book and she read me a passage from the book to see if that's what I wanted. I ordered some stuff for my mom for Mother's Day, and she asked what I wanted to be written in the card. So like they're really making it personalized. They're doing their best to stay open. And it was honestly like the most joyful thing I've done was speaking with Lil from Open Door Bookstore. So if anybody's looking for stuff for their mom, definitely check this out. And I think it's just trying to keep these small businesses alive is something I've been really, really passionate about. And I think it's really important right now. So
yes, I love this. And yes, we all have to support our local mom and pop businesses. They're so crucial to our cultural fabric, and they are the ones that are truly finding innovative ways to, you know, still create relationships with their customers and ways to buy their products, whether it's a Facebook Live or whether it's this way, Instagram. But I know a lot of those kinds of links have been coming up in our meetings, and I think it's so interesting because when you are forced into a corner, if you are a small retailer during this really unsteady time, you have to innovate, and that's what they're doing. So this is beautiful.
And Lil was so cute. She said she doesn't usually use technology, but FaceTiming was fun and she gets to talk to all of these customers. So it was really sweet. And I highly recommend anyone going and chatting with Lil because it was great.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. And you look really springtimey today. So thank you for looking so cute and beautiful. I think that is it for today. Before Sarah has a few closing moments, we really Thank you so much for joining us each Wednesday when we do these show and tell meetings. They are just meant to inspire you for just an hour of your week. Hopefully it spawns you to then go and do the same with your own teams. But we will keep doing it while we are still all working remotely. We're going to keep inspiring you. But thanks so much for joining us. And Sarah, you're going to have a few closing things to say.
Yeah, thanks so much, Michael. Again, these show and tell meetings really are such an integral part of our company. They're one of the ways that we identify, track, and validate our forecasted trends, which we do continuously throughout each season. And with the current situation, we find them to be more important than ever, which is why we wanted to share them all with you. We know that you may be away from your team right now, and you may be finding it difficult to stay inspired and stay up to date with the news you care about for your market. As Lily mentioned earlier, here at FS, we use artificial intelligence to track reports associated with our forecasted macro trends. And we're also launching an AI tracker specifically wired for COVID-19 related intel, so you can have access to a constant stream of information in an easy to use platform. Additionally, our team of editors who you heard from today are constantly publishing our Hot Now reports, many of which are informed by these show and tell meetings. So if this is something that you might be interested in learning more about, if this is something that you think would help your team, we certainly think it would. Please type demo in the chat box and a member of our team will follow up with you, or you can email us at sales@fashionsnoops.com for a personalized demo of how the FS platform can work for you. And additionally, because we know many of you are struggling to find that insight and information that you need right now due to travel restrictions and canceled events, FS has launched a monthly subscription program in order to make our online resources more accessible. So you can gain full access to the FS platform with no long-term commitment required. And this includes our upcoming COVID-19 information, which is going to be launching at the end of this week. It's a whole series of reports and guides that we think you are going to need for the coming seasons. We really hope that you check them out. You can type demo in the chat box once again if you would like more information. And for our clients, please stay tuned for our Thrive Guide series and all of our COVID-19 related information. We would love to walk you through those sections. So if you are a client and you're here with us today, please reach out to your FS rep or send us an email to info@fashionsnoops.com and we can walk you through that, as well as our newly launched retail tracker. So please reach out to us if you have any questions, and we hope to hear from you. And we hope that you join us for the rest of our webinars this week. Tomorrow, Melissa Hago, who you heard from earlier in the hour, will be hosting a webinar regarding cultural and beauty shifts and the future of product and service development in a collaboration with Makeup In and Asia Cosmo Lab. So that's tomorrow, Thursday. We hope to see you there. And on Friday, we have a very special webinar to share with you. It's a collective healing session. And while we know that inspiration and information is so important right now, we also know that it's a time that many of us are feeling stressed and anxious. So we're bringing this session to you as a way to heal and a way to release some of that anxious energy. Eli Buren has been gracious enough to host some gentle Qigong sessions with us as a team here at FS, and we're bringing them to all of you. So join us on Friday for that. It's a very gentle, easy practice, and these webinars are included with your current registration. So we hope to see you then. And if you have any questions, we're going to leave the chat box open for a few more minutes. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. See you next Wednesday.